the opportunity would not have presented itself to me if God didn't think that I was capable of handling it. What's up, bougie bosses? It's your girl Kayla Simmons, and today we are going to be talking about imposter syndrome. All right, so sit tight, this is going to be a good one. All right, the Oxford Dictionary, they define imposter syndrome as the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts or skills. Honestly, I really relate to that definition. I think any ambitious person can relate. We've all encountered imposter syndrome at one point or another, and it has been something that's been especially prevalent for me within the last year or so. I shared in my Storytime or storytelling video. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. Probably leave it up here, link it up here in the description box. But you know, I touch on in that video, you know, some of the obstacles I faced and some of the doubts that I had, but I never really gave a deep dive or expounded upon like how much doubt I really had getting to that point, even after, especially after actually. And so I wanted to do a little story time. I feel like this is becoming a thing to put my little story times inside of these videos, but you know, I feel like personal experience is always the best lesson, right? So I'll get into it. When I was a sophomore in college, I joined the esteemed NAACP organization. It was one of the first organizations that I joined when I was in college, and I really felt included. I really liked everything that they stood for. It was way more than just being, you know, fake woke. It was really doing the work, putting in the work, really educating. I can never speak highly enough about that organization and everything that it did for me, everything that it taught me, and I will continue to do so. So fast forward 2 years, it's December, last December, and we are planning to do the university's first ever Black History Month festival. We were going to have food, we were going to have speakers, we were going to have live poetry, live music, art, of course, Black-owned businesses, you know, with their vendor tables. We were even going to have voter registration tables. Like, it was going to be such a dope event, right? We were really excited about it. And then the vice president who was spearheading the event, hi Tony, shout out to you, he reached out to me. And he was like, hey, so I know you have a business because, you know, I launched TMP last July. He was like, hey, I know you have a business, and would you be interested in having a vendor table? And I was just like, sure, yeah. And I said yeah without really thinking, but in my head I'm like, what am I gonna sell? You know, I'm not the traditional B2C company, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a blog. Like, what am I gonna do? Give people business cards and give them samples of my blog pieces? Ain't nobody read no blog at no festival, no vendor table. Like, nobody's doing that. What am I gonna do? I'm not like them. And so I was like, you know what? Why can't you just sell some t-shirts or something? You always wanted to branch out into that. Eventually, it just happened a little sooner than you anticipated. So you better put your logo and your little design on your t-shirt and keep it pushing. So that's what I did, because even though it was difference better than nothing, right? And so that's what I did. And I was getting excited. I was still really nervous because I didn't know if, you know, people would take me seriously, but I was getting more and more excited. And then fast forward to January. So Tony hit me up again, and he was like, hey, so what do you think about giving a mental health seminar during the festival? I'm sorry, what? Seminar. Y'all. I was scared like out of my mind, but I said yes because I just opened my mouth. I guess like my mouth just it speaks for me. It knows things that I don't child, because in my head I was thinking all sorts of things, but my mouth just said yeah, sure. And so that's when I really began to freak out, and I was just like, I don't have my degree yet, you know what I mean? I don't have any sort of fancy certification or license. You know what I'm saying? I'm no therapist. And I'm just like, yeah, I always saw myself giving, you know, speeches or in doing little speaking engagements, but I always thought it'd be for some like motivational type stuff. I never thought it'd be nothing official, even though, I mean, mental health is one of the main topics I focus on. I mean, it's in our freaking mission statement. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't know. I guess I just felt like speaking about something, you know, as serious as mental health in an educational manner, I just felt like I wasn't qualified. I felt like I wasn't credible. And I was just like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not credible. I don't have the licensing or the, you know, the book knowledge to back me up. All I do is blog about my personal experiences. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, you know what? I've said yes. I've got to figure it out. And so we started hashing out, you know what I mean, what we were going to say and all of that. And, you know, because mental health is such a broad topic, you know, we had to niche down like what specific area I was going to kind of hit in my speech. So we went back and forth on ideas, and he, you know, we settled on one, and I started working on it. And, you know, I'm freaking out, but, you know, I'm putting it together. And then, you know, he hits me up about 2 weeks or so, a week or two before the festival. And he's like, hey, so I'm really excited about what you're doing, but the university, they want you to meet with one of the therapists just so she can go over your speech with you and make sure you're good. AKA, they want to cover themselves and make sure that you ain't up here saying nothing that's not accurate, which I totally understand. But of course, you know, because I was already having doubts, that didn't help my anxiety, right? And so I was like, okay, I've never been to, you know, the therapist's office on campus, and I'm a senior. It's been 4 years. I've never been there. There's no familiarity there. So that makes me even more nervous because I don't know these people. So I go and I meet with one of the therapists, and she doesn't just have a general discussion about what I'm going to say. She has me give a mock presentation of how I'm going to present, like, you know, just a full, like, you know, marking, as you will. And so I do that, and y'all, like, she liked it. Like, she really liked it. She was just like, yeah, I really like your topics. All your information is accurate. You know what I'm saying? I like the flow of things. It's very cohesive. She gave me a few, you know, tips here and there about, you know, different resources I can include and stuff like that, but she didn't really give me any criticism. And I was just like, wow, okay, well, this is a professional and she likes what I have to say, so all right, cool. You know what I mean? I'm still freaking out. I'm still like about to have a panic attack every other second, but you know, that made me feel more secure, right? So we get there, the day comes, I'm freaking out. I mean, I can't even, honestly, I'm not even really nervous about the vendor tables as much because I'm just freaking out about this speech. And so, you know, I'm there, but I'm not there. You guys know how that goes. And so, of course, because it's me, something else has to go wrong. And the projector that we were going to use for my presentation, there was a piece missing that no one could find. So I was going to have to do it without a projector. And so I had to rush and hurry up and try to like transform the PowerPoint into an outline on a Word document just so I could have something up there with me, because I didn't have the whole thing memorized and I knew I would need something to reference, you know, so I didn't freeze up, especially with how nervous I was. So I did that. You know, he ended up introducing me and bringing me on. And oh, let me just add in here, like there was only 2 speakers. There was me, and the other one was an actual professional from another esteemed organization. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, so talk about no pressure, right? And so I get on there, and you know, anybody who's ever kind of had an out-of-body experience like that, you know, I'm a good speaker in general. Shout out to Sunday School. We had to do reviews every Sunday, you know what I'm saying? But of course, you know, this is something completely different. And, you know, it's kind of just, you get numb a little bit, if it makes sense. I don't really know how else to describe it. You kind of just zone out and just kind of go on autopilot, you know what I'm saying? That's why rehearsing is really key, right? And so I get up there, I'm on autopilot, and I'm like looking out in the audience, and nobody's paying attention to me, y'all. Nobody's paying attention to me. I mean, aside from like, you know, my best friend maybe and my mama, because, you know, Christy drove up or whatever, and my best friend drove up. Even my brother was there because he was a freshman there at the time. And so I was just like, these people ain't paying attention to me. And so I was just like, let me just get through it. Like, honestly, I didn't even really care that much. I just wanted to get through it so I can get off the stage. And so I did. And I got off the stage and I was like, oh, got that over with. Fine. I can really focus on this vendor table now. And y'all, like, one person started coming up to me, then another person, then two other people. I really like what you had to say, you know what I mean? People don't talk about this enough, you know what I mean? It was really insightful, all these different compliments. Y'all, I even had other vendors coming to my table saying, oh, I have to buy from you. What you said was so on point, you know what I mean? Like what I said resonated with them so much that the other businesses wanted to buy from me. And that was so validating because I realized that, you know what I mean, I may not have the degree, I may not have all the fancy certifications, but I have my personal experience and Google, you know what I'm saying? And that's enough. I'm not saying, I'm not negating anybody who like goes through the hard work of attaining like certifications, because as a college graduate, I know how hard it is to like attain that stuff. So I'm not negating that in any way, but I'm also learning not to negate my experience too and the value that I have, you know, to offer. And it was just such an eye opener for me that I am enough, I am credible, I am capable. And I had to realize, you know what I mean, the opportunity wouldn't have presented itself in front of me if God didn't think that I was capable of handling it. That really hit a lot, you know what I'm saying? It really hit a lot, and it's something that I've thought numerous times since then. Anytime something's come up that's made me doubt myself or question my capabilities or if I'd be able to take on the task, the opportunity would not have presented itself to me if God didn't think that I was capable of handling it. Truer words have never been spoken, and that's kind of what I've been holding on to anytime I freak out. And this is not to say that this wasn't even my last encounter with imposter syndrome this year, y'all. This is just one of the biggest examples that I've dealt with, and I'm sure, you know, it won't be the last, you know what I'm saying? As I continue to grow, I'm human. I'll still, you know, even though I'm sure I'll grow more secure within myself and my brand within time, like, you know, as you reach new heights, it's always a scary thing, you know, because you've never been there before. And so I'm sure I'll encounter it again, but I have a better feeling about it now because I have that ideology and I have some validation, you know what I'm saying, in knowing, you know, that the opportunity presented itself to me. And I know that that wasn't coincidental, right? And I also know that, you know what I mean, and I realized that it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out. You know what I mean? I'm creating my own lane for myself and those like me, and you should too. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like down below and comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it to be notified. I love you so much, bougie bosses, and I will see you next time. Bye.